Welcome to Journey to Self, where we transform whispers of doubt into roars of freedom. This is your space to reclaim your voice, rediscover your power, and step boldly into the life you deserve. Let's dive in and awaken the unstoppable you. Have you ever felt like you're not enough? Like no matter how much you accomplish, there's a voice in your head whispering, you're a fraud. Today, I'm sharing a story about a time I let self doubt steal the show and how I took the stage back. And we're tying it all to one of the most important selves I coach on, self worth. For today's intuitive moment, I pulled the strength card. And for those that are not watching what this card looks like, it's a woman and half of her face is the woman and half of her face is like a lion's mane, and she's got a lamb in her lap. So this strength card symbolizes calm influence, inner resilience, and quiet power. It reminds us that true strength comes from within by staying calm and steady, even in the face of challenges. When we struggle with self doubt or imposter syndrome, this calm influence is exactly what helps us reconnect with our self worth and move forward with confidence. For our soul dive, let me take you back to a moment that changed everything for me. After my first husband left, a friend dragged me to a singles event, and someone at that event asked me, "What do you like to do?" And I froze. I realized I had no idea. My entire identity had been wrapped up in being who everyone else needed me to be. And in that moment, I felt like a stranger to myself and an imposter in my own life. What I was really experiencing was a disconnect from my self worth. So, what is imposter syndrome? Imposter syndrome is that crappy feeling of being a fraud, no matter how much you've achieved. For midlife women, this one can hit especially hard as we begin to question our worth and our purpose. That moment at the singles event stayed with me. I realized how many opportunities I'd missed because I doubted myself, whether it was pursuing a dream or simply saying what I wanted. Self doubt makes us hesitate, question, and ultimately hold ourselves back. When we forget our worth, we give our inner critic all the power. So, here's some strategies to help you overcome imposter syndrome. Number one, reframe negative thoughts. I started by challenging that voice. Instead of saying, "I'm not qualified," I asked, "What do I need to learn to feel prepared?" Number two is focus on achievements. I created an achievement jar where I'd write down small wins and read them when I needed a boost. You could do the same thing with a journal. I was just reading recently in a book, and then they talked about keeping I think they called it a celebration journal. And we talked about celebrations on the last episode. It's a good habit to get into. Number three, take small, confident actions. I remember the first time I said no to something that didn't serve me. It was terrifying, but empowering. And confidence grows with every small step. I have a much easier time saying no now than I did when I first started. And number four is to build a support network. Can't emphasize that enough. Joining communities of like minded women, finding friends that can support you and encourage you, all of that helps. But joining those communities of like minded women reminded me I wasn't alone. Surrounding yourself with positivity makes all the difference. So let's pause here. Where in your life does self doubt show up the most? Is it when you're trying something new? Is it in relationships? maybe your career. Think of one instance and ask yourself, how does this doubt hold me back? For me, it was the fear of being vulnerable. But I learned that vulnerability is actually strength, and it's the key to connection and growth. Now, reflect on your self worth. Self doubt and imposter syndrome thrive when we forget who we are and what we've already overcome. What if, instead of doubting yourself, you asked, what makes me proud of who I am today? Write it down. Your worth is not something you have to earn, it's already within you. And remember, the message of the strength card, calm influence, can help you navigate even the most challenging moments. For our whispers of wisdom today, I love this quote by Susie Kasem. Doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. It's a reminder that our biggest roadblock isn't failure, it's never trying. When we quiet doubt, we make room for possibility. Here's another story to consider. I once hesitated to apply for an opportunity because I was convinced someone else was more qualified. But a mentor told me, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. That advice has stayed with me. Every time I feel self doubt creeping in, I ask myself, what's the worst that can happen if I try? Often, the answer is far less scary than I imagined. And as the strength card reminds us, steady resilience and calm influence are what carry us through those moments. This week, I invite you to focus on your self worth. Start by writing down 3 moments that remind you of your value. A time you helped a friend, stood up for yourself, or overcame a challenge. They don't have to be big. Every action where you honor yourself builds a stronger foundation for confidence. And for those of you looking for deeper clarity, I'm offering a personalized tarot reading focused on self worth. These sessions will help you have insight into where you may be holding on to self doubt, where your inner power lies, and how to reconnect with the confident, capable version of yourself. If this resonates, I'd love to support you on this journey, and you can find that link to book a tarot reading on any of the 8 selves that I offer. And it'll be in the show notes. We began this episode asking if you've ever felt like you weren't enough. But the truth is, you've always had everything you needed to quiet self doubt and own your self worth. Just like the strength card teaches us, calm influence and inner resilience can guide you through the hardest challenges. The next time self doubt whispers in your ear, remind yourself of the quiet power within you and take that stage back. Thank you so much for joining me today. Make sure to hit that follow button so you get notified of new episodes and share this show with at least one other person today. If today's episode resonated with you, I'd love to invite you to join me in my membership community, Journey to Self, The Awakening. It's a sacred space where we explore transformational healing, engage in monthly calls, and grow together. And if you'd like more tips, tools, and inspiration delivered straight to your inbox, be sure to subscribe to my mailing list. You'll find the links to both the community and the mailing list in the show notes. Thank you again for joining me on this journey. And until next time, be true to you.